Hello there, Tyrant here, and I just finished watching the latest episode of Ryu has. What? That Shogi one, okay? I'm sorry, the name's a little long. But anyways, it's right after the events of what happened last week's episode with the whole yeah. so so this finally come. You know what's weird is those first few moments of that when the episode first starts, and she's really like aggressive and scary. It reminds me of the Blood Death character, and it I'm not gonna lie, it's like I didn't see that coming. She has it. She's had it. She had that feel, that kind of dark aura around her. But this is like the first time she like it was there, and it was really hilarious. Um, but it kind of settled down a little bit. But I think what what was really interesting was finally the second half of the episode. But there's one thing that was interesting is that we kind of learned that the the child version of our main character apparently agreed to be the master of his daughter back back when he was a while ago, because we had this idea that he felt this level, no, seen this shogi, the style of shogi, my apologies, before. And honestly, I have no idea what's happening when it's literally shogi. I It's just fun to watch, I'm not gonna lie. If it was chess, I would understand a little bit more. Like that one anime that was about Go. I didn't understand that either, but it was still fun to watch. But we learned about where that came from and everything, and it was like, okay, cool. Um, and it was interesting to note that he was kind of like a child prodigy, a little bit. I go, huh, interesting. But it tells you that kind of skill this guy has, our main character. And then we kind of get to like the second half of this episode, which two things, two things. I'm gonna talk about the I versus I fight that happens. But first, our I don't know how to call them. I can use their last names, but I don't remember their last names. So we'll go with blue and red for now. That's the best way I can interpret them. Um, he Rio. I think it's Rio. I gotta remember how to pronounce that. Rio. Is still training her and everything. While our blue eye has kind of run away, and kind of I would. It feels like she's skipping from her studies and training with our of shogi, as she's run back to the I would say the main house. It's really weird because there's this weird feeling of family also in here, because it's like a shogi family. It's like you gotta kind of have to get into that mindset as well, which is I was starting to get back when Ario had to kind of ask to be to be the master of Blue Eye, and everything, to get that. And he was explaining how it's like a family. So it's it's hard to get this to. Sometimes it's hard for me to kind of understand that. I get it, but it's just to get it. But um, I know it's a lot of rambling, but it's interesting because during the match, um, because our red eye is kind of finally getting her placement test, right? And she takes the first person out like that, and then she goes after shoot, what's his sister's name? I would say sister because that's kind of how it's translated. And she's playing a grade schooler, right? And we learned something about this. Well, if you remember right, our main character mentioned that I can't remember her name, but anyways, that she only had a couple more, little a short amount of time to become a professional female shogi player. If I'm remembering that right, it's really weird. The titles are weird, so I'm trying to remember them. But she only has so much. But we learned that there's something called red and black stars. So basically, like probably a check and balances. But our she loses to our red eye, and it hits her hard. It really puts in perspective how dedicated these people are to their shogi in this anime. It's their life, and that loss took a hit on her, and I was like, wow, wow. So that really you have to take that scene into perspective, and I really enjoyed it. On top of that, it really showed her arrogance too. I I'm starting to enjoy our Red Eyes character until she kind of turned into this very obvious Sunjay character. It bugged me a little bit. Like, sure, why not? I'll take it. Oh God. But then we get to the eye versus eye match. Whew. Everyone's watching intensely and everything, and it's very like I have no idea what's happening, but everyone's intrigued. Like I'm watching it too. But Blue Eye, everything's going. The match is going and match is going. Like it's good, but you know, Blue Eye lost, and it hits her hard. And apparently, a couple more turns later, she could have won, and it's weird because I don't understand shogi that well, so I can't like speculate the shogi part of the show. But I enjoyed the character development that came out of it. He explains it best. Our main character explains it best. He's training a rival. He's training these two to be able to best each other, to improve their skills, and that's great. That's what you want from not only a teacher, and also individuals. Kind of like his teacher. His teacher even said it. Like he wanted another person to be able to compete against him. That's why he has, I forgot her name. It's like Galco, if I remember right. His sister to be able to play each other, to best each other as best they can. And this is where you get the eye versus eye match, and this is Ai's first time losing against someone her age, with someone around her skill level, and it's something you want to push forward. So yeah, we're gonna have to see how this goes. I also like this introduction. I really didn't say this last episode of this blind shogi player, and it's that this guy is interesting. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Well, that's about it. I think I went a little bit rambly. My bad. But this episode had a lot more now that I think about it. So, thanks again for watching. Until next time.